Pledge for Peace by Mr. Misese Ichiro, representative of the Hibakushas, who will make a pledge for peace. Pledge for Peace. Every time I see a wall clock stopped at 11:02, I am reminded of the nightmare of 79 years ago. I was 10 years old at the time, and it was during summer vacation. As an air raid alarm was lifted in the morning, my mother and grandmother began doing the laundry and cooking. I was playing with the organ in my home, imitating the noise of a roaring B-29 plane engine. Hearing this, my grandmother ran to me and told me to stop, as people might mistake the noise of her enemy's planes. When I was about to stand up, after reluctantly closing the organ cover, there was a bright flash of light. I instantly covered my ears and eyes with my fingers and laid face down in front of the organ, just as I had been taught at school. The next moment, I could feel the blast blowing through our home. I was frightened as I withstood this. Once it became silent, I cautiously lifted up my head and looked around. It was catastrophe, such that I thought the sun had fallen, and I was stunned. My mother, who was doing the laundry, began frantically searching for her children. There are 8 people in my family, and luckily, all of us were not injured. After cleaning up our house for a couple of days, then I started to worry about the school I was attending at that time, Irabayashi National School. So I went there with my friends to see what had become of it. What we witnessed were people covered in blood, to the point where it was difficult to distinguish their sick and wounded people with their upper bodies naked, begging in weak voices, "Give me water, let me drink." The people carried to the gymnasium were not taken care of, nor given water, but were merely laid down in what felt like a living hell due to the summer heat and accompanying foul smell. People who cried out in agony suddenly became quiet, and they stopped breathing. Adults would carry them out to the school sports ground by holding their heads and feet, dig a hole, and burn them while placing their bodies on a board. I will never forget watching my school turn into a crematorium. For 79 years since then, we, the Hibakushas, have called for the abolition of nuclear weapons while dealing with health concerns. However, as we look at the international situation, we see wars such as those in Ukraine and Palestine dragging on rather than ending, and many children are losing their lives. With this sad reality right before our eyes, we cannot look away from the foolishness of war. Every day, we strongly feel the importance of peace. It is said that there are currently an estimated 12,120 nuclear warheads in existence on the Earth. As the use of nuclear weapons have been implied, tensions are extremely high in the world. If they were to be used, the Earth could be in a terrible situation. I address Prime Minister Kishida, who is in attendance today. In order to leave our children and grandchildren a green Earth that is safe to live in, I desperately hope that Japan, which has suffered from atomic bombings, sincerely considers the abolition of nuclear weapons as the most important issue in the world. As a storyteller for the Nagasaki Foundation for the Promotion of Peace since 2015, I have continued to convey the threat of nuclear weapons to students on school trips and youth who would lead the next generation, and have even begun doing so in English as well since 2023. I am determined to think about what peace is with others as long as possible. In conclusion, I offer this pledge for peace to the souls of the dead by declaring that peace is a world heritage shared by all humankind. 二世 Seiichiro, representing atomic bomb survivors, August 9th, 2024.